How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you can hear me well. Happy Saturday, Sunday, whatever day you're watching this. For me personally, it is Saturday, and I want to make a video talking about what am I up to, what is going on, just my thoughts, plans, just talk to you guys. I know it's been a while since I last made a video, probably about a month or two. As you can tell, it has been super hectic for me. Currently, right now, where I'm sitting, I'm here in the Bronx, which, in my opinion, was probably the last borough I plan on moving to. However, for convenience sake, for the price, it is what I can afford at the time, and I'm grateful to be where I'm at currently. Everyone has to start somewhere, and especially if you're moving to a place like New York City, which is huge, it's been expensive, it's hectic. You kind of have to start where you can. It might not be the most glamorous, it might not be where you would like to be ideally. However, I'm grateful, as I said before. So what am I doing now since I moved to New York City a few months ago? Well, there's been so many things going on, right? Like I said, so many moving parts. I started out, I would say around April-ish when I first moved here. I was in Bushwick for about a month. There was this like housing situation thing that was going on. I had a few roommates and everything, which is what most people here do. Where I'm living at currently, I currently do have some roommates as well. And of course, the goal, short-term goal, is to have my own like studio or one-bedroom apartment, which I'm in the works of applying to and stuff. Fingers crossed, within the next couple months, right around my 25th birthday, I should have my own like actual apartment all to myself. But again, everything is up in works, and nothing is promised, especially here. Secondly, I will be going back to college. I'm not going to say which one until like later on, but I will be pursuing grad school, because I mean, as much as I would love for my own dreams and my own goals and what I've been working on for the past, few months and stuff to work out for me, things take time. And also, it doesn't hurt to have extra education underneath your belt. It makes you more of a, I guess, candidate as well. One of the main, I guess, things that I've been working on since I've been here is trying to break into modeling, right? Which, I mean, it's such a huge, like, range of things because there's fashion models, there's commercial models and stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not 6'2" or above, which is kind of the standard for most of these stuff. However, when there is a will, there is a way. And there are plenty of people who are in that, I guess, career field who are not 6'2". I'm a 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. And that's just what it is. It's something I just cannot change. However, there are avenues, okay? We're in New York City. There are so many different things and stuff, and it is kind of a waiting game. It's kind of having to go and connect and put yourself out there and interact and network. So we'll see about that. However, I'm not, too hung up about it or whatever. I've received so many different rejections. I have heard nothing from so many different things, and I have gotten some feedback. So, again, we'll see when it comes to stuff like that. Putting yourself out there is something that is super important, no matter what it is that you want to do in whatever career field. David, there may not be people there that look like you, have your same experience, your background, stuff like that. However, that's what sets you apart and makes you unique. That's what I truly, truly believe. And it is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm going to continue pursuing it whatever way possible. I don't care if I'm going to school. I don't care if I've landed full-time jobs. I'm still going to pursue what I want to pursue because, again, your own personal dreams, goals, and hopes are super important. And that's something that I feel like you should never throw away or never just say, okay, I'm just done. So I don't care. I'm still going to continue to pursue that. I'm still going to go to casting calls, get whatever promo shoots I can, and just to continue to put myself out there because I think that's super important. Job-wise, so for the past few months, I've been doing like kind of like different gig works and stuff. I was also a brand ambassador for about a month and a half. Brand ambassador. Now, what is that? Pretty much like you represent like a brand or whatever, and you sold their product to different places and stuff like that. I did that for a bit. Ended up getting fired, which was my own fault. And following that, I landed another brand ambassador role that I did for a bit as well. I would say yes. If you don't have a like degree, or if you don't have like a specific set career field that you're trying to get into, prepare to struggle for a hot minute, especially if, like I said, if you're moving to a big city like New York. It's absolutely expensive. it costs a lot. And also on topic of that, I will shift back to the whole apartment situation thing. For most of any of these apartments and stuff, they require you so many things, right? Yeah, they require you to make 40 times the amount of rent. You've got to have this, you've got to do that, you've got to show proof of this. And it can be a very hectic process and stuff. I mean, not everyone has that, I guess, luxury of having like a set career that they're having and stuff like that to be able to afford such place. And even if you can't afford such place, they want documentation and records and all of this. And there's an application process, which is just absolutely insane, and it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. However, it is what it is, right? And yeah, it's just something that you're gonna have to deal with and expect. Along my apartment process hunting, I feel like once I like actually land a place, I'll do a video talking about the whole process and breaking it down and stuff, because it is a process, and there are different, like, I guess, avenues that you can navigate if you don't make 40 times the amount of rent, or if you don't have a perfect credit score, or this or that, right? I mean, you're gonna have to sacrifice something. You might have to sacrifice some level of privacy. You might have to sacrifice location. You definitely have to sacrifice amenities and stuff. However, there are options. You know, it is like the biggest city in America, so there are a lot of options, and that's something that I'll probably go into in a different video, because that is a whole process in and of itself. But yes, that is something that really, really woke me up when I first got here. When I first got here, I had no idea what to expect. I'm the only person I know who has moved to cities such as this in my conditions and my circumstances and everything. So I had nothing to really go off of. You know, like doing my research, watching YouTube videos, like reading on blogs and stuff. I mean, there's only so much that I can prepare you for when it comes to such a move and such a big change as it is going from a small, medium-sized town to the big city. So there's just a lot, you know, that I had to learn as I go and stuff like that. And that's honestly one thing that I'll say to anyone watching this: if you're planning to do something big or making a big move or a big shift and stuff, prepare to just be in a position where you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're completely lost. You're just there, because that's what it's like sometimes, especially if you're the only person that you know who is doing such a big change or a move or whatever. I mean, that just comes with the territory. However, I can also say that I'm super proud of myself, and I am just so grateful and so hopeful for this experience, because it was something that I was putting off for a while, right? Before I finally just moved here, I was putting it off for months. I was like, oh my God, you know, I was in this, like, I was in a very depressive state, I would say. And it was just a very, like, you know, dark time. There's a lot of self-doubts, a lot of stuff. And that's completely normal, right? To have self-doubt, to not know what's going on, to feel lost, feel like, what the hell is going on, right? And also, it brings me to another, I guess, aspect of today's video that I wanted to cover, which is post-college, right? Or post-grad. Also could be underneath the umbrella of going through, like, a phase change in life, right? Because in life, we obviously go through different phases, right? You're in grade school, and then you're in college, and then there's this, and then there's that, right? And I feel like there aren't too many videos I've seen, or too many people talking about the, I guess, big, like, social phase change that you go from, like, college to, like, the real world or real life, right? Because it is a very hectic, drastic, you could say, transition and stuff like that, right? For most people, and I feel like it varies from person to person and stuff. For me personally, I'm also a veteran, so I did have the military experience before going to college and then this. So for me, it was very weird, right? But it still was a dramatic change nonetheless. I mean, yes, you know, when you're in college and stuff, you might have a group of friends, you might have a few close friends. For me personally, I had like a few close friends, right? And everyone goes off and has their own life path and their own goals and stuff, right? I would say comparison is the worst thing you could possibly do. Comparison is the devil, right? If you are like, oh my God, what's this person doing? What is this person doing? Why am I not doing this? Blah, blah. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster, failure, disappointment, and just, you know, ultimately hurting yourself. I feel like, you know, like, figuring out your own path and your own goals and stuff is something that only you can do. And it requires introspection. It requires thinking. It requires, you know, asking yourself hard questions, asking yourself, hey, if this is my goal or my dream or something, am I willing to sacrifice? How much am I willing to sacrifice? What am I willing to do for this goal and dream and stuff? And this is something that I'm personally still navigating on a day-to-day basis, right? What steps am I willing to take to reach this goal or reach this dream or reach this purpose? You know, and also being comfortable with the fact that your own family, friends, or people you know, society even might not understand that. They might not understand why is this person doing X, Y, and Z, or this and that. Third. And honestly, who gives a fuck? I would say who gives a flying fuck, because it's your path, it's your goal, right? Whatever it is, you only get this experience once, and at the end of the day, what matters is your satisfaction and your trajectory and your path. That's honestly the best piece of advice that I could say. And that's something that becomes very, very apparent after college. Because in college, everyone is like going and pursuing whatever degree program they're pursuing, right? Yeah, it's a path. You do X, Y, and Z. You take this class, da, 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 and then you're in your degree. Post college, whatever, it's just whatever, right? So, yes, I don't want to make this video too long. I want to keep it around 10 minutes. But like I said before, that's something that I'm constantly dealing with every day. And a lot of people I know, even close friends, associates and stuff, are dealing with that too. Don't get disheartened. Don't get disappointed. And you might feel that way. You know, I mean, shit, I feel that way a lot. But your path is yours, right? And it's gonna look different for you than it would look for someone else. And it's tailored and it's unique to you. You might have to sacrifice. You might have to wait. You might have to, you know, go without. It might take years. It might take like decades. However, it's yours, okay? So I'll leave you with that, guys. Hopefully you guys have been having, you know, a decent time. I know it's been long since I last made a video. I will be more consistent. I will post weekly videos, especially now as I kind of transition to going back to college and also pursuing other things. I'll take you guys like along, like, you know, what I do on a day-to-day basis when I'm pursuing stuff. Just giving you guys more of a glimpse into my life, because I definitely do want to make more videos and be more on this platform. Yeah, and as always, everyone, have a blessed day, and hopefully you guys stuck to the end of this video. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let's go.